All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for our daily videos, keeping you up to date on everything going on with Bitcoin and the whole cryptocurrency market. I got a lot of great news that I want to share with you today. And if you've been subscribed to us for a while, you know that this is exactly the type of stuff, this that I love to bring to your attention. I love to let these stories rise to the top. I love to get these green flags on your radar, because we're still in the wild, wild west, the early days of cryptocurrency. And chances are, if you weren't actively seeking out this information, chances are you wouldn't know about it. And I think this information is worth knowing about. So let's get into it. Last year's Q4 results are in, and just as we suspected, despite the bear market, despite it seeming as if interest in cryptocurrency is down, behind the scenes and over the counter, the interest and buying of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency has never been higher. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust averaged $2 million invested per week in Q4 2018. So to put this in perspective, refresh your memory on the price point of Q4 last year. For most of the time, Bitcoin was trading between $6,000 and $6,700. So this whole time, an average of $2 million was flowing into Bitcoin Investment Trust per week. And then even at the end here, during this drop-off, an average of $2 million. So I don't want to lose anybody here. If you don't know what Grayscale is, let me try and clarify. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Grayscale, they have this fund called the Bitcoin Investment Trust, GBTC. And what it is, it allows investors to gain exposure to the price of Bitcoin. It's almost as if they're actually buying it, but they don't have to buy it or store it or safekeep it themselves. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, hey, Aaron, hey, Altcoin Daily, what about not your keys, not your crypto? And sure, I agree with that. But like it or not, this is a service that a lot of people prefer. So Grayscale is in the business of buying and holding Bitcoin. And you remember last year, we found out that Grayscale buys so much Bitcoin for their trust and their clients that they actually own about 1% of all the Bitcoin that there is to own currently. So this is a huge risk they're taking for possibly a huge reward, and a lot of people are buying into their company. So Grayscale buys and holds all of this Bitcoin in their trust, and then they allow their clients to buy into shares within the trust. And the type of people who invest in Grayscale's Bitcoin Investment Trust are those that see Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a store of value. They recognize that just like gold, this will grow in value over time. So the story is this. Grayscale has just released their 2018 Q4 report, and this is what we know. Q4 of 2018 was a fantastic quarter for them, where they averaged $2 million being invested into their trust per week, where 88% of this new money went into Bitcoin, leaving 12% going into the altcoins that they offer, leading Grayscale to declare Q4 of 2018 the return of the Bitcoin maximalist. To go further, 66% of this new money that came in was from institutional investors. And also one more thing, roughly 40% of the investments in the fourth quarter were from retirement accounts, which is interesting. So if you want to read more on the specifics of this, I'm going to leave the link to not only this article, but also the actual report in the description of this video. So I think the conclusions to this story is this. Last year, we saw Bitcoin scraping against the $6,000 bottom, and at this time, a lot of people thought this was bottom, or at least very close to the bottom, and they ended up putting a lot of money into Bitcoin around this time. Now, the funny thing is, here we are today, and you could probably buy Bitcoin for even a cheaper price than what they bought it over the counter back in Q4 of last year. But once again, it's stories like this where if they even reported this in the mainstream media, they wouldn't cover it in any detail or give you any perspective. But this is the kind of stuff that's happening behind the scenes, where eventually when the market turns around and we start going up, which I'm thinking maybe at least by the end of this year that's going to happen, then all of a sudden these people and these institutions who are staying quiet now will then be motivated to come forward in the public eye, talk about Bitcoin, talk about cryptocurrency, and they're going to be our allies in this, getting the word out there and specifically teaching people about the true value of Bitcoin, which is something that I try and do very often on this channel. Of course, most people are too scared to invest in Bitcoin right now, but not me. The fundamentals are too strong. Case in point, Argentina settles export deal with Paraguay using Bitcoin. So this is another huge story. I'm glad Yahoo Finance is reporting this because this is real use case, real value. In a reported first for both countries, Paraguay has bought pesticides and fumigation products worth $7,100 from Argentina using cryptocurrency to settle the deal. The purchase was paid for in Bitcoin and then converted into Argentine pesos to settle the accounts. So this is exactly what Bitcoin was intended for. This is a means of transaction in which anybody in the world can transact with anybody else in the world in a trustless, permissionless way, and it happens fairly instantly and fairly cheaply. It's very refreshing to see this happening in these, lesser developed or more developing countries where Bitcoin can really be useful for them. I mean, the only bad thing is that, I wish they didn't immediately convert it back into their fiat currency, but nevertheless, baby steps, right? All in due time. Good news for Basic Attention Token, good news for the Brave browser. So this was always part of their roadmap, but I'm happy to report this is happening within the next few days. Brave ads launch scheduled for February 19th of 2019. So once again, Brave browser is what I use, and their native cryptocurrency is called Basic Attention Token. And the appeal of Brave browser is basically the user interface is exactly like Google Chrome, and it's apparently faster. To me, it seemed just as fast as Google Chrome, but I can believe it's faster because come standard in all Brave browser, you don't see any ads. They take away all the ads, you put up the shield, and what was always going to be a part of this was they were always going to launch where you can see select ads. You can opt into this and see select ads, and then you get paid for your attention through Basic Attention Token. So this is launching this week. Really big news for Basic Attention Token. Really big news for Brave. Just take a look at the price right now. Basic Attention Token. Trading at 12 cents. Really hasn't affected the price that much. I guess we bounced up from about 11 cents to 12 cents, but overall, not too much. In a bull market, this probably would have caused the price to soar, but not so much now. Either way, the value is there, as you can see. Next up, Lightning Network has reached 700 Bitcoin total capacity. The real bull run has started. So it seems like just last week that I reported that the Lightning Network reached 600 Bitcoin capacity. Now we're at 700. Yes, the Lightning Network, it's still in its early stages. It's still being developed, but clearly people are loving it and seeing a lot of value in it. You can see just this exponential growth. I liked this first comment right here. Lightning Network is amazing. Running Lightning node on Android. Made around 200 payments so far via this node. Game changer, smiley face. Note, this is a graph of public channel capacity. It does not include the capacity in private channels. All mobile apps, for example, Roger Ver, Crimea River. Okay, so this is good news. And to go along with this story, new Lightning app allows users to purchase pizza with Bitcoin. So the app is called Fold, and you can see in their advertising, they advertise Starbucks, Target, Whole Foods. But what the story is about, the app in a nutshell carries out fiat pizza purchases on behalf of Lightning Network users. They say we're trying to make Bitcoin fun again and illustrate that Lightning is at a point where it's mainstream ready. And they said regarding its relation to the Lightning Network in general that the average purchase for them was $25. And since the average Lightning payment is usually less than $5, this was able to stretch the Lightning Network to a higher value payment for the first time at volume. And of course, when you use the Lightning Network to make these purchases, the transactions go through for a fraction of a penny, which is much better than credit cards. And we'll get to this story in a second. They also said that the largest barrier to conversion to get people to use this was for these people to know and set up new Lightning wallets. So we still have a long way to go. I have not set up a Lightning wallet yet on my phone. That is something I'm looking to do, but it does seem a little bit hard. I got to figure that out. But this is overall a great story. Okay, anybody fan of OmiseGo out there? OmiseGo has just launched its alpha release. Now, I've done deep dives on OmiseGo before, months and months ago. It's, they don't do a lot of advertising, but they are actually a very legitimate, very, I think, great altcoin. Let's take a look at them on CoinMarketCap right now. Basically, OmiseGo, what they're doing, they offer payment solutions to places all across the world, specifically in a lot of Asian markets. They're making white label solutions for cryptocurrency for, people who want to integrate, payment of cryptocurrencies into their stuff. They also work on the Plasma network, which is what's one solution Ethereum has to scale. So yeah, I remember when it was trading for over $25. Everybody was talking about how great it was. Well, now we are flatlining at about $1.23. And yeah, read into this if you want to know, but I like the fact that we're finally seeing an update from these guys. Then I want to conclude today's video with, it's not about cryptocurrency directly, but the story is that shopping with the credit card could soon get more expensive, and that Visa and MasterCard are preparing to increase the fees that they charge merchants, which of course will come back onto the customer. And the solution to this is cryptocurrency, whether it be Bitcoin, an altcoin, or even the Lightning Network, which is done instantly for a fraction of a penny. All right, my friends, that was it. I hope you got value in this video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to join the channel to stay updated on a regular basis, subscribe. Oh yeah, I did want to cover one more thing. I have been getting a lot of comments on a video we did a week ago where I went over my personal top 5 altcoins that are under $1. Talked about QLC chain, talked about Funfair, nulls, a lot of different things. And of course, while these small cap coins wouldn't make a great portfolio by themselves, I did say that, please, look into Bitcoin before you look into any of these. This video was in conjunction with Coinswitch.co. Where is it? Here we go. So I did this as I also reviewed Coinswitch.co, and as I said, the appeal for Coinswitch, part of this review that we did for them, was that you can either swap your cryptocurrencies, with total anonymity, where you keep your private keys, or you can even buy cryptocurrencies with total anonymity, where you keep your private keys. And of course, many people commented saying, what do you mean you don't have to give away your information? It says right on the first page, buy with the credit card. Okay, well, if you're going to use a credit card, which is, unless you're paying with cash, unless you're going, person to person, you're going to have to give your credit card information. But the point of this was that they never keep your private keys. You keep your private keys. And if you're just swapping your cryptocurrencies, which is what I did, I swapped some of my ETH to get more Bitcoin. All I did was give away my public key, and that was it. The trade was made. So in that, this site does have value. And I'll leave a link in the description again if you want to check that out. But I just wanted to clarify that because I was getting a lot of questions. All right, my friends, I will see you tomorrow. It's going to be a great year.